Hiya, it's Siobhan, Galloping Housewife, on my way to the yard again, and the astute amongst you will notice that I am in a different car. Actually, if you don't, then don't worry about it, because I'm the sort of person that people will ask me what someone's driving and I couldn't even tell you the colour, let alone the make, the model, or what it was. But anyway, I'm in our towing vehicle because I have who we call Terry, Terry the Touareg, who likes to tell me that we're going over a very narrow bridge. Terry the Touareg, who we're going, so I'm going to go and pick up Mitch, my young horse, and take him through to a vet's for a second opinion. If you've watched these, you would have known that he's got an eye problem. Looked like an injury to start with, that he's exacerbated, but it probably is, but it just hasn't responded to treatment. So keeps sort of getting better when he's on medication, and then every time we try and wean him off, it flares up again. So eyes are not something to be messed with. So I'm taking him through to a consulting hospital to have a look at him today. Of course, the timing couldn't be any more shit. I'm away this weekend for 4 days, heading off to Paris, so therefore I've only got a 3-day week, and one of those days I'm getting my hair done. The other day I am going for my first lesson in months and months and months, and which again requires a bit of a trek. And so so I've got 3 very busy days, and then we're away for the weekend, which shit happens, and a bit of work to do in the meantime. So which consequently means that I have got everything planned to within an inch of its life at the moment. I did actually wanted to chat about not being there, about not being available, and I've talked about it a little bit before, but it came up again yesterday when I got out to the yard, and the yard that I've got Percy and Mitch in is a little backyard operation run by a mother and daughter, and both have been involved in the equestrian industry their whole lives, and have competed to a reasonable standard, showing and eventing, show jumping mainly, but they know their way around the horses, but the daughter and myself are the only sort of competitive clients. The rest of the liveries are amateurs, which is low-level amateurs, which is if they compete at all, which is nice. They're nice women. But the place is immaculate, like absolutely spotless. And these guys really, really know how to manage horses. They know about keeping horses in a routine. They pay attention to everything, and they are really flexible in what they do. Will manage to any sort of program that suits you and the horse and what you want them to be doing. So I couldn't be happier. From the last place where I got out there and I wouldn't know if my horse had been fed, where the horses weren't in when I got there, despite being on full livery, when they were turned out with halters undone and rugs undone, and it was just an absolute disaster. Percy was okay out there, but a sensitive warm blood is just not going to cope with that sort of situation. So it ended suddenly, but it was the best thing that could have happened. So really, really happy where we are. But I got out there yesterday, and the daughter was there on her own, running the yard, which, I don't know, 14 horses maybe. And there's a kid that comes out and helps some weekends, so she was out there as well. But it turns out the mum's sick, quite ill, and has been bedbound for the weekend, and and they, she was just like, a bit apologetic about things, about what could be done. And I was like, look, and they're still turning out. I mean, that's the other thing. We're up here in Scotland. It's wet thing. It's winter, and even down in the Cotswolds, I wouldn't be expecting my horses to be turned out, but they've got such good property and such good management of their property up here that they're able to do that. And I said, if you can't get them out, don't worry about it, just pop them on the walker. The horses actually don't care, and that's routine is really, really important to them, for sure, but the horses will manage if you can't do absolutely everything, and it's something that we need to be really, really aware of. I mean, it's in this situation, the woman that is running the yard, she has probably worked herself too hard and too long, with sort of an underlying thing, and it's exacerbated it. And to be able to recognize that you can step back, is again those things that you shouldn't do, and when to minimize things. If you've got a big focus, if you've got a big push on to get one thing done, then it's okay to minimize the other stuff. I just want to really, there's a time and a place for everything. So I mean, today is a little bit, I said two sides to the coin. Yes, the horses, they do need a routine, and they do need something that's going to be regular for them. But then again, we switch it up. Management, we have a summer management plan and a winter management plan. We have we go from turning out overnight to being in overnight. That's fairly routine up here in the Northern Hemisphere, with the sort of size of property and the sort of footing and things that we have. But also, like here we're in Scotland with insects and stuff, and you simply cannot have horses turned out during the day, pretty much during sunlight hours in Scotland. They just get eaten to death. So we do this big switch up anyway. So if you've got a week or two that's going to be different, the horses will cope, and actually being, as long as there is something that is maintained in that time. And so we need to be a little bit aware of not running ourselves into the ground, thinking that we've got to do absolutely everything right by the horses all the time. And I will say that they might not be able to turn out for the whole week is countered by the fact that the beds are still absolutely spotless, and the yard is swept and the gear is all put away, and and the horses got full hay nets, and happy, and all those sorts of things too. So the details are still being taken care of. Right, that's it for today. I am, like I said, it's a full-on bloody week for me. I will be coming out to the yard tomorrow and Wednesday, but if I do anything at all over the weekend, it will be from Paris, and I doubt it very much. I doubt that I will have anything to say or anything coherent anyway. It's our first sort of holiday away with friends for a while, and it's actually my first trip to Paris. I've been through Paris to catch trains and things, but I have never actually stopped there. And we've been living in the UK for 8 years, and part of that is being the shitstorm that we went through. Part of it is having no money because all the bad shit that happened, and part of it was not having a passport because of some of the bad shit that happened, and yeah, part of it was just, yeah, and also being away from family and things means that we lack childcare. But finally we got to that point where our kids are old enough to, well, we'll see, leave at home for a couple of days. At 20 and 17 you'd think they would be, wouldn't you? But yeah, we'll see. And yeah, we can bugger off with a couple of our friends, good friends, for the weekend. So really looking forward to that, and I will speak to you tomorrow, see what I've got to say then. See ya.